Dr. Gopal Lalmanani ji to please come and share his association with Dr. Tata.
Don't you think he's done a wonderful job today?
I was not prepared to actually say any word. I really don't know what words I can use to describe you, truly. On a serious note, on behalf of the village of Oakbrook, and many residents of Oakbrook who are here, I see them here because they voted me in for the third time. I don't know why. Yeah, you're one of them, Dr. Dittakavi. On behalf of the village and the residents, I'd like to extend my best wishes and heartiest congratulations to Prakasam ji for this distinguished honor that has been bestowed to you by the Ellis group. Unlike my mentor, Dr. Vidyasagar, who have known Prakasam ji for several decades actually, I'm actually not that lucky. I met Prakasam Tata, Dr. Prakasam Tata, just a couple of years ago actually, 2 years ago, wasn't it? At the village of Oakbrook, where we met for the first time, introduced by Dr. Vibhuri Murthy, and he came to see me at the village to see if he could help us with water conservation and waste management in Oakbrook. And before we even got into talking about that, I knew right away I'm meeting a special person here. A special man of God, a kind man, an honorable man. It just hit me right there. Those vibrations are still with me. It was just so clear. Not only you're a champion of the environment, your love of the environment is unparalleled. I could see it right there when you came to meet me. Your ideas about water conservation and waste management. As a physician, I'm a cardiologist for those of you who don't know me. What do I know about these things. But within an hour or so that you spent time with us, I learned so much about the importance of water and conserving water. So I'm so honored to be amongst these giants here, the Ellis recipients, including Vidyasagar and I guess the other two guys have left, and you today. I am truly honored to be with you. I also discovered that he is a true symbol of simplicity and humility, not much different from my spiritual master, Tata Waswani, who dropped his body last year, a couple of weeks before his 100th birthday. Not much different. He's another Tata to me. You really are. And guess what? I do need to warn you today. As Tata Waswani told me last year, actually, the reward for service, I don't know if you want to hear this or not, the reward for service is actually more service, which is what we're going to expect from you. It's not about these awards, the Ellis Award, very important, very significant, but the reward for service is more service. Thank you for your kind attention. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir, for an inspiring introduction and speech. Thank you. Up next, I invite Commissioner of Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago and Chairman of Finance, Mr. Frank Avila, to please come and share a few thoughts of his association with Dr. Prakasam.
Thank you. Congratulations, Prakash. I met Prakash about 5 years ago, sir. And Prakash, I didn't know anything about India, but he came to me, and about 2 or 3 times he came to me, and he wanted to do something in India. And I came home, I told my wife, you know, I have this fellow Prakash Tata, he's coming to me 2, 3, 4 times talking about going to India. And I said, should we go or not? Because I don't go any place without my wife Sherry. So she says, yes, let's go. So I went to India. And who is Prakash? Do you know Prakash? Prakash is an environmentalist. He's a scientist. He's a father, a grandfather. He cares about the health and welfare of the people in the United States, in India, and throughout the world. He volunteers his time and his money to educate the government and the people on how to maintain wastewater plants and how to operate them. This is what he does in India and here in the United States. And also the water filtration plant. Prakash realized that water is life because our body is made up of over 60% of water. So water is life. India is expert in IT. They're expert in the pharma industry. But when it comes to the quality of water, they're not the experts. And they need Prakash. For the last 4 years, Prakash has been encouraging us, the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago, and our employees and other people to volunteer our time and money to go to India to give workshops on how to operate and maintain wastewater plants. 4 years. In this year was the 4th year in February 2019. Prakash spearheaded a conference and expo on water, wastewater, stormwater, solid waste, and specialty waste in India. This was the first time in India that they had anything like this, a conference expo on those 5 items, the first time. And remember I said they're expert in what? In IT, and they're expert in pharma, but they're not expert in water and wastewater. First time. Now in February 2020, that's next year in February, Prakash needs your help to volunteer and donate to his organization. When I mean donate, he needs you to give his organization money for him to continue his effort in India. If we, I'm not Indian, if we could volunteer our money and effort to go there, how many here out there are Indians? No one? There's no Indians out there to volunteer and donate to his organization so he could help the people in India? You know that half the kids in India, half the kids that die of diarrhea in the world are from India. Half the kids there. And what Prakash is doing on his volunteering in this organization and spending his money to try and improve the quality of water in India, because water is life. So now let's try and help Prakash what he wants to do in February 2020 on his conference and expo, because this is the first time they're having this type of conference and expo in India for the quality of water. Thank you, Prakash, for your effort. Don't forget volunteering.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Mr. Randy Ames, Chairman of Rotary Naperville, to please come and say a few words about Dr. Tata.
Dr. Tata, I bring water. Do you hear that? Waterman. I grew up in a small town in central Illinois, Canton, Illinois by Peoria. Who has heard of Canton, Illinois? It's a town that's south of I-80. What's that mean to people in Chicago? They don't want to even deal with it. It's a different world. It's rural. That's where I grew up. I came to Naperville 25 years ago. I'm now the president of Rotary from a small town in central rural Illinois, not unlike Dr. Tata, who came from a different country, let alone a different small town that was rural and didn't have a lot of money. And he is assimilated into Chicago, into Naperville, and could have not been a better Rotarian. And by the way, if you don't know what a Rotarian is someone who believes in what? Service above self. And that's what my friend Prakash is. And Rotary International has 34,000 clubs across the world in 200 countries. Rotary's founded in Chicago, Illinois. And there's a lot that goes on throughout the world, but if you're a Rotarian, you know where Chicago is. It's the birthplace of Rotary, it's the birthplace of freedom, of caring about what goes on in the rest of the world. The United States of America is the biggest representative of Rotarians in the world, with over 1 million people throughout Rotary International. Who is the second in the world? What country?
India.
India. I give you applause for that. Please give yourself a hand. And I'd also like to just commend everybody here. You know, it's not easy, I know, coming from a different area, to assimilate and to embrace the culture like my friend Prakash has. And I congratulate every one of you for doing the same thing. It takes courage and it takes inspiration. And the theme of Rotary International this year is Be the Inspiration. And I give you, my friend, Dr. Prakash, my inspiration. Thank you, Prakash.
Thank you, sir. Up next, I would like to invite Dr. Jampala Chaudhary Garu. I'm sure the entire community here knows who Dr. Jampala Chaudhary Garu is. He's a man who needs no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Chaudhary.
Namaste. Generally, when somebody says that he needs no introduction, that generally means I don't know much about him. Just kidding. All right. Okay. As a former president of Telugu Association of North America, the language spoken by Prakash Garu and the place where he came from, I have an opportunity to interact with a lot of people from the language speaking areas. But there is something special about one place, a place called a small, if you say a small town, they get offended, sir. They think it's the center of the world. In a place called Vijayanagaram. Okay. We may place, all of us love our native places, but the people from Vijayanagaram are something different. Okay. And you just scratch the surface and they start talking about their Gurujada, their Maharaja, their music college. The list goes on endlessly. But there's one place that they talk about with not so much of a pride, is a place called Pedacheruvu. Okay. It apparently was a very beautiful man-made lake that was at one time where people would gather, and then over the years, like many things, it kind of was neglected and it kind of fell into disrepair. And there is one man, a son of Vijayanagaram, that wanted to go to the rescue of that, and that was Prakasam Tata Garu. And he actually made a valiant effort working with the civic administration of the city and the district to revitalize that lake. And then it was at one point was described as the most modern effort and the simple efforts, cost-effective effort to revitalize that lake. This was in the 2000s, and then it went to disrepair again, and then he went to rescue it one more time. So with his Bharati Tirtha Foundation, he has actually been working a lot in the area of water reclamation and wastewater management, and his activities are not just confined to that town of Vijayanagaram, but they have been expanding, and as it has been mentioned earlier, now there is an annual conference that actually brings all the people that are involved in that water reclamation area across the nation to one area so that they can get instruction and knowledge about the state of the art of affairs. And this is really a commendable journey. And Dr. Prakasham's career reflects what the Ellis Island Society honors, which is service where we are, which is in the United States, as when he worked for the Water Reclamation Agency here, and also service to where we come from. And there's nobody that better exemplifies than Sri Prakasam Tata. And sir, you are well deserving of this honor, and we're all very proud of you.
Thank you, Dr. Chaudhary. That was an impromptu speech, by the way. We just informed him a few minutes back saying that he needs to come on the stage to say a few words. And that is what I mean by a multi-talented man. So I do know a lot about you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Dr. Vemuri Murthy, Faculty of the Department of Emergency Medicine, University of Illinois at Chicago, and current Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Chicago Medical Society and immediate past President, to please come and say a few words.
Good evening. The medical community in the United States is unified to enhance the quality of the human health through better global environmental healthcare policies and efforts. There are a few global health pioneers who are dedicating their lives to accomplish this goal. We are gathered here today to celebrate the contributions of Dr. Tata Prakasam, whose decades of humble endeavors in protecting the environmental safety in India and the United States is coming to fruition. It's my honor and privilege to congratulate Dr. Prakasam Tata on his recent recognition with the prestigious Ellis Island Medal of Honor 2019, joined by the US-based medical organizations that I am affiliated with for the past 30 decades. Chicago Medical Society. Today we have our national president-elect of American Association of Physicians of Indian origin, representing about 100,000 Indian physicians of Indian origin, and also Dr. Srinivas Reddy, the immediate past president of our own local Indian American Medical Association of Illinois, and recently elected trustee of the prestigious Chicago Medical Society. I now request them to come and help me to honor our distinguished Dr. Tata Prakasam. I also request humbly our outstanding past president of the AAPI, Dr. Gopal Lalmalani, who is the backbone of the organized Indian community in the United States of America. Dr. Suresh Reddy, Dr. Srinivas Reddy, Dr. Gopal Lalmalani. This is in recognition of the outstanding contributions of Dr. Tata Prakasam. This is the first time in the history of the organized medicine in the United States, representing Indian physicians, that anybody has been recognized to this stature. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your cooperation, because I can keep moving, you know.
I know, I don't want to, we are not allowed.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be in this distinguished forum to honor Dr. Prakasam Tata Garu and in his celebrations for being awarded this highest honor for any immigrant in this country, the Ellis Island Award. By God's grace, hopefully I'll join the select band someday in my future. And just to give a magnitude about this award, 7 US presidents and several Nobel Prize winners have been in this list of awardees in the past. Congratulations.
Maintain wastewater plants